In today's episode, I look at several areas of your health where you can choose to focus to make an improvement. Welcome to the Hill with Jill podcast. I'm your host, Jill Yeiter. Each week, I share one short, digestible episode to help you create clarity and ease in your wellness story. I'll be exploring self care, intuition, mindfulness, intentional living, and more. If you enjoy a fresh perspective, agree that life is not black and white, and want to improve your relationship with yourself, then you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me today. We really are whole beings, I feel like. And if we make a change to any part of us, it affects the whole system. And sometimes we label something as physical when it's actually spiritual, or maybe we label something mental when it's physical. We could even make a change to a belief and then it affects a feeling, or maybe we change a behavior and it affects a belief. And so I guess my point is that change can happen at any point in our personal landscape, and it's not always easy to identify where the place um, to best put our focus is to have the most impact. And I feel it's possibly a lack of awareness of all these areas of potential. Um, and so I'm going to share with you some ideas, and hopefully that kind of helps get your focus in alignment with your actions about where you could impact yourself in a positive way for the better. So, um, I like to think of holistic health as mind, body, and spirit, but we are going to take that a little bit more specific into some extra categories. So, the information that I'm going to be sharing with you is from a book called The Mindful Diet, and I will leave that in the show notes in case you're interested in checking that out. But it's a concept that is probably not new to you if you're familiar with wellness or well being models at all. But um, we have divided kind of this landscape up into 7 areas for this particular model. And so the first area would be movement, exercise, and rest. And so it is a continuum, it's not just one particular aspect. So it's not just, rigorous exercise or sleep, but it's kind of that whole continuum. And it's about being savvy enough to know what you need on that spectrum on a given day. And then the next area would be nutrition or food. And so that's kind of all inclusive of, are you looking after your menu planning? Are you eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full? Are you meeting your needs with appropriate measures other than food? And then the third area would be personal and professional development. So that's really getting at the notion that to be happy and healthy as human beings, we really are lifelong learners. And that's um, something that is satisfying to take the time and energy to get better at something, to learn something, to connect some new dots, to sow some new seeds in your life in terms of creativity and expertise and just genuine curiosity. And then the next area is your physical environment. And that is a um, kind of, it encompasses things like the aesthetics of your environment and whether it is cluttered or clear, and if you're making the most use of your space in terms of if it's working well for you. So, an example would be if your kitchen is well organized, then obviously that is going to affect in a helpful way the nutrition area. And then the next area would be relationships and communication. And that's all about how healthy you're able to interface with other people, to get your needs met, to be part of a team, to be independent and, or sorry, interdependent. And that's, regardless of who you are or where you are in life, there's just the reality that we have to be able to communicate to get through the day. And then the next area is spirituality. And I don't consider myself a religious person, but I do consider myself highly spiritual. So I have things that I do that kind of connect me to the core or the essence of who I feel like I am and that bring me joy and um, kind of align my values and my behaviors. And then the last area is stress management. And this area is kind of, what's in your toolkit. And then do you use what's in your toolkit to manage stress? So anything from breathing exercises to meditation, mindfulness, movement could be in there, anything. And so what's in my toolkit for stress management could be very different than what's in your toolkit. So to recap, those 7 areas are movement, which also includes exercise and rest, nutrition, personal and professional development, physical environment, relationships and communication, spirituality, and stress management. So if you make a choice to focus on any of these areas, then it's going to positively impact all of the other areas. So, my recommendation is choosing something that appeals to you and also recognizing that there's going to be areas where you're already doing a great job. And if you choose um, something that's, drawing your attention right now, then you're likely to stick with it and just do it in a way that's not like over analyzing it or over fussy. And you might be surprised how you can move forward in a way that impacts your overall well being. So, I hope that was helpful. So that's just kind of an introduction to the many areas that you could, make a change or choose to place your focus. And so throughout the course of this podcast, of course, we will be looking at a lot of these in more detail. So I hope that you enjoyed that. And thank you for joining me today. Thanks for joining me this week on the Heal with Jill podcast. You can find all my free resources, including menu planners, mindful movement videos, and more, as well as my coaching and courses at healwithjill.com. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you'd share it with a friend and give it a rating. Take care and bye for now.